Now for our main story tonight. In early February, the men's rights activist group, Return of the Kings, was rumored to hold several meetups around the world in support of legalizing rape. The meetups sparked public outrage and were eventually canceled by the leader of the events, Roosh V. Roosh claimed that the cancellation was because he could not ensure the safety of the men attending. And the reason for that, which he denied to tell anybody, was because a Toronto women's boxing club threatened to show up and kick the shit out of them. Which is amazing. I love that. And since the controversy, Roosh has publicly denounced his article in support of legalizing rape, saying that it was satire. And while his intentions to legalize rape have been redacted, Roosh stands by his belief that no actually means yes, and that the prevention of sexual assault is the responsibility of the victim. And in his article, When No Means Yes, that's creative, Roosh provides a guide for the word no in sexual situations and how it actually means yes. Examples include no, when you're trying to take off her panties, actually means don't give up now. And this complete misunderstanding of sexual consent may seem absolutely absurd to most people, but it's unfortunately pervasive. And this mentality does not come out of nowhere. So let's take it all the way back to elementary school, where sugar was currency and boogers were crack cocaine. So most women remember themselves or one of their peers being sent home for spaghetti-strapped tank tops. And for those of you who don't know, exposed shoulders were somehow the nipple piercings of fourth grade. So in sending these young girls home from school, we're teaching them that providing boys with a distraction-free learning environment is more important than that girl's education. And I don't know about you, but I was too busy rotting my insides with dino nuggets and Fun Dip than looking at shoulders. And while this is happening, these young girls are taught that this aggressive behavior from boys is a form of flirting, which is harmless until teasing turns to harassment. Last year in Columbus, Ohio, a 4-year-old girl was hit in the face at school by a boy in her class and sent to the hospital for stitches. And upon arrival at the ER, a hospital employee told the young girl and her mother, "Well, I bet he likes you." And we're not entirely sure, but we're pretty confident that the employee was this guy. And the harm comes from reinforcing the idea that boys are not responsible for their actions and can express themselves however they want to without asking. And while girls learn that they don't always have a choice in how they're treated and should view this type of aggression as a compliment instead of what it really is, which is harassment. Like if I in a paper bag and leave it on your front porch, you should be more flattered than annoyed. And this carries over into adolescence when curiosity surrounding sex is at an absolute all-time high. And teenagers, as you know, are basically a vacuum for any sexually explicit content that will fill that curious void. And whether it's movies, TV shows, music, stories from that kid in the locker room lying about an over-the-pants handjob at camp, there are many ways that teens gratify that curiosity, and the media is just one of them. But sexual content from these sources it's pretty limited, and it's sort of like the kale chips of snacks. Like, you'll eat it if you have to, but come on. Like, picture this. If you're hungry, and I mean really hungry, you had to choose between a freshly baked pizza and some stale kale chips, you're gonna eat the pizza, and by pizza, of course, we mean porn. And porn isn't inherently bad, but as an educational tool, it's not great. Just like watching The Bachelor is fine, but you shouldn't watch The Bachelor to learn how to date. Sexually active, educated people can understand that porn portrays sex in an inaccurate way. But young people who have never had sex before can't really tell the difference. The UPS guy never comes to the door with his package in a G-string. And I know that, and you know that, but your 13-year-old neighbor pops a chubby at the sound of the doorbell. And that's the difference. It's entertainment versus education. And this misuse of porn contributes to this warped understanding of consent. And the media romanticizes this like sexual encounter without any form of sexual communication. And that means that adolescents are watching scenes in romantic comedies and in porn in which consent is limited to dramatically sweeping everything off your desk. And the only thing that Knocked Up and Hot Lesbian Fireman Group Anal Drilling have in common, besides the fact that I own them both on DVD, is the lack of consent within them. And years down the line, we find ourselves wondering why sexual assault is running rampant on college campuses. 1 in 10 college men and 1 in 4 college women will be the victim of sexual assault during their academic career. And we are by no means trying to defend the actions of perpetrators of rape or reduce the blame that they deserve. We're simply pointing out that the story of a drunken hookup gone wrong no longer raises any concern. It's completely normal. We see it on TV, we hear about it on campus, it's everywhere. But this is something that really shouldn't be normal, like dick pics. Dick pics have somehow become like a standard pickup technique. Like, oh, dude, she's not interested. Did you send her a dick pic? You try it? It's ridiculous. And the big issue here is consent. Asking for consent is the key to everything. Having a bite of someone's food, ask for consent. Borrowing a friend's car, ask for permission. Entering someone's hole, ask for permission. It's simple, it's easy. It's a super simple concept, but people, and particularly college students, seem to be confused on the specifics of consent. So we're just gonna go ahead and break it down for you. There are 4 guidelines to consent. Number 1, everybody's gotta be awake and coherent, which is super easy. That means that if you are having a few drinks, you have to evaluate whether or not you and your partner are GTS. That's good to screw. I just made that shit up. If someone is incapacitated or intoxicated to the point of delirium, they cannot give consent. And people seem to have a ton of trouble with this, but it's really not that difficult. Check it out. Awake, not awake. Awake, not awake. Awake. It's not that hard. Number 2, everyone needs to clearly communicate their willingness to get down. If you have to get the yes. The word yes, yeah, sure, yup, give it to me, baby, nice and slow. Get on top, ride it like you're in a rodeo. Any of those would work. Number 3, consent is not a binding contract. You are always able to pull out. You do not have to finish what you started. It's not like watching Game of Thrones or hiding a body. I don't know what you do. Number 4, if you have to pressure and manipulate someone into having sex with you, you're a hole. It shouldn't require blackmail, false claims about how big it is, drugs, lying about your knowledge of the G-spot. What does the G-spot even stand for? I don't know. Unfriendly neighborhood rapist Rouge made the following statement about consent on his blog. Asking for permission introduces an awkward moment where the girl's brain floods with reasons not to do what you are asking. Plus, it makes you appear scared of getting rejected, a quality not attractive to most women. Because yes, Rouge, respect is really the international sign of weakness. Rouge suggests that instead of asking, we just do it and see what happens. Really, Rouge? Just do it? That's original. So what do we do right now? College students, you can start by asking for consent. We are absolutely in control of what is the social norm, and we're stupid about it. That's why things like Kirkland brand light beer and Doritos Locos Tacos are like a standard of living. But that doesn't mean we are incapable of very real change. So ask for consent. And guys, we have to start this conversation at a younger age. Consent should be taught alongside sexual education, and we can't just leave this up to the media anymore. But the school system and the parents can't decide who is responsible for teaching kids about consent. So we made a tool to help them out.
Is your little angel growing up? Is your child curious about sex? Have you received a letter from your internet provider about how much porn your child is torrenting? Well, we've got something for you. Porn for Kids, or P4K, is a comprehensive sexual education tool designed by scientists in our world-renowned Sexy Laboratory.
Hello, I'm Dr. Pierre. I have a PhD in sexual studies and an emphasis in... Lessons in Porn for Kids will teach your children how to explore their sexualities in a fun, sexy, safe, and productive environment. It will also give your children the tools to become sexually active members of society in this sexy world we live in. Here, take a look.
Consent, birth control, STD prevention, sexual identity, fractions, and more.
What is consent? Consent is a voluntary, positive agreement between individuals to engage in a sexual activity. And you just take that and shove it into there. Got it. And that's how fractions work. They're so simple. Wait! Do you want to have sex? Yes!
Would you rather die than speak to your child about leading a healthy sex life? Would you sue your school district if they tried to offer realistic sexual education? I'm with you, sister. But somebody's got to do it. Dr. Pierre, a lead scientist over at the Pleasure Unit, has all of the tools necessary to teach your child the things you can't.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, P4K.